We got Oscar nominations and stuff to talk about. Which one? We'll do the... I don't know. We don't need to do an entire breakdown. We could just go with like, unless there's any specific like snubs, we can just kind of run over the best picture.
There's a few.
I do have a couple
for snubs for best picture.
Just for whatever, because what I guess one of mine is could be. One of them is for score. One of them is for, I guess, picture / international.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a few snubs. Namely the Marty Supreme score. Have you seen Marty Supreme yet?
I haven't seen it yet. Nope.
I've seen it twice. I saw a lot of movies this year twice in theaters. I don't usually do that, but I feel like this year has been one of the best years in movies, I think, in a long time. Maybe not since like 2019 for me. Like that 2019 year was like the year that like it was like Midsummer, Hereditary, Uncut Gems, The Lighthouse. I guess it was the year of A24 as well.
Not Hereditary. Those are both Ari Aster. Those one.
I think that's what I was. Yeah, it was like Midsummer, The Lighthouse, Uncut Gems.
Parasite.
Was that Parasite? Yeah, those four alone, I think, are like that was like an insane run. But yeah, I saw a bunch of movies like twice in theaters this year. But the Marty Supreme score is done by Daniel Lopatin. He's an electronic musician who goes by Oneotrix Point Never. That's like his musical alter ego. He did the Uncut Gems score as well.
Oh, okay.
So he's very like synthesizer heavy. Marty Supreme takes place in the 50s, but has like the I think it's called anachronistic score, where like it's like 80s music. It has a very like 80s electronic vibe, despite being in like the 50s. And it works really well. And that score is really good. Like some of the music in that is insanely good. And I don't think it got nominated at all. I think maybe one of your other snubs is one that I would agree with, which is Young Fathers for 28 Years Later.
That was it. That's my score. Yeah.
That whole movie got snubbed. Like,
yeah. I mean, realistically, if it's like TJ gets to pick the Oscars, it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously that's one of my favorite movies of the year. That would be in picture. It would director for sure, editor. But I was like being a little more realistic. I'm like, come on, the score or makeup, give it a little something, give it a little something. Not the cinematography for like,
yeah. And that's the thing is like, I know horror tends to get snubbed, but it's like Danny Boyle has won Best Picture before. So it's like, yeah.
Being the most nominated.
I don't think Weapons was nominated for anything either. And I thought, that movie.
Amy Madigan got nominated.
Oh, okay. Good for her.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. I think that's cool. Yeah, that might be it. The only other thing I could think of is maybe writing, but I don't think so. Yeah, no, not for writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other big one is that No Other Choice got nominated for Zilch. That one was like at least international, like at least Best International.
Nothing, not even that.
Yeah, nothing. If not Best Picture, but yeah, no, International's Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, which are both up for Best Picture, and then Sirat, It Was Just an Accident, which I've heard a lot about. And then The Voice
that
of
was like
Hindu
that
Shah.
one was on the. I think It Was Just an Accident was nominated for a ton of Golden Globes, and I think won a few there. Because that movie was like not on my radar at all until the Golden Globes, and then it was like in every category.
I think it might have won Palme d'Or at Cannes. I think it won something there. Or no, that might have been The Secret Agent, actually. I don't know. Which I thought was okay. I'm not getting the hype behind The Secret Agent. As much as I like the actor Wagner Moura,
right.
I thought the movie was like, it was okay, but it was also almost 3 hours, and it was one of those where I was like, it might be better if it was 2 hours. You know, I might like it more. But
I think you could easily swap out, I would say, F1 and Frankenstein for any of the ones that we mentioned.
Yeah.
I didn't see F1, but that looks like, I don't know. I feel towards that movie the same way I feel about like Gran Turismo, like racing video games, where I'm like, this is for somebody, but it's not me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was
fun. I liked it, but when I saw it in theaters, I was like, that was good. That was like, you know, it was a good like racing movie. It's like, it's by the guy that did the Top Gun Maverick. So there's a big like harping on like they actually like filmed like shot, you know, it's not like special effects. They actually filmed in like F1 tracks, and they're like flipping cars and doing all that shit. And there's merit to that. Like that's cool. Like, you know, the racing scenes are really cool. They're like the best parts of the movie. But that was a complete curveball when I saw that on the Best Picture list. I was like, well, really? Like, it was just like, it'd be like Twisters getting nominated, where I was like, that was a really good summer movie. You know what I mean? Like, but not something I would have expected.
That should be a category in the Oscars. Just like in the award for a really fun time goes to, and it's like that's where those movies got to go. 3 stars, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. They did do that for like a year. I think they did the kind of like the one they had at the Golden Globes, which I think they've had for a couple years. At the Golden Globes, it's cinematic and box office achievement, which is like, that's the one that we're going to give to the one that like is good and everybody loves it, but we don't want to sully ourselves by giving. I think that's what.
Didn't they do that? Wasn't that like Wicked?
Yes.
Sinners won it this year. I think Wicked won it last year, where it's like, you're not going to win on any of like the technical awards, but you made a ton of money, and we want to acknowledge like the cultural impact. So here you go.
And because
I would argue that Sinners probably is a better movie than Wicked, and I don't think that award necessarily, like for Wicked, it's like you made a bunch of money, you weren't going to win anything else, but like we're acknowledging you. Sinners, though, I feel like
Barbie, I think, won too.
Yeah. Sinners is the outlier where it's also like a really good movie outside of just like being a fun popcorn flick.
Right. Yeah. Which I think makes it more like problematic, and in terms of like that is their get out of jail free card or whatever, where they can be like, yeah, look, we're giving it an award. We're giving it this big award, you know, so you can't complain that we didn't give it any of the big awards because we made one up for it. But it's like, it feels like such a like consolation prize in a way.
Yeah. And then it did win best score at the Golden Globes, and they didn't televise it.
Yeah. Yeah, because
which
that's
I know
right,
some people were like up in arms about, because it's the only thing it won that night other than the box office achievement, and it was like, it wasn't aired.
Yeah, that's
and it's Ludwig. I like Ludwig. He does good music.
Yeah,
I'm really curious how Sinners is gonna do at the Oscars, because it's like I think it's like the most Oscar nominated movie of all time now. Is that the case? I think it's at like 16. And I'm worried because I feel like that is like in and of itself a consolation prize, where it's like you're nominated for 16. You're not going to win any, but we're acknowledging how great it is by nominating you 16 times, and then they're just like going to go home empty-handed. I'm conspiratorial about that stuff, where usually it's like if you get a bunch of noms, you're not going to win very many of them.
Yeah, that does happen a lot.
Yeah, I can only imagine the the think pieces about it that are being pre-written right now, whether they win or lose. Like,
Yeah,
because
probably.
I feel like that's like the movie. It's This is gonna sound maybe a little derogatory, and maybe it is.
Okay.
But I feel like it's edging into like Everything Everywhere All at Once territory, where I don't know, because I think Everything Everywhere All at Once was, in my mind, that's like the one non-Marvel movie that Marvel movie fans see a year and they're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I sort of feel that way about Sinners as well, where it's like, because it's Ryan Coogler, like it's the Black Panther guy. I think there's like this hype around Sinners, but it's like, I think it's really good. I really, really liked it. Is it better than Begonia, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another? But I think for like a certain like crowd of people, that's like, this is like the one non-cartoon or Marvel movie they see a year, and they're like, this is the greatest movie of all time. Like the glazing is like very strong as award season has started.
Sure.
So I'm like,
yeah.
people are going to be like big mad if it doesn't win.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
I could see it. I don't know. I'm not seeing it winning Best Picture. I'm putting my money down on One Battle After Another. It seems like that's the safe bet.
I think that's plus it's like PTA. He's been around forever. He hasn't won Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's Leo. I feel like that's like, if anything, it's going to be like a legacy award for PTA. Like, hey, you've been making movies for like 30 plus years now. You get one.
Yeah.
Especially because I think it's a movie that also was like meeting the moment currently and politically. So it's also like a chance for the Academy to be like, we acknowledge like societal unease and unrest.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I don't have like as much of a dog in this fight because don't get me wrong, I like Sinners, I like One Battle After Another. I mean I like F1, but that's again we said that's a little different. But I like what you were saying with like it being like one of the best years. It's funny, like I can read these without necessarily agreeing. Like I'm like, I get that like everybody loves Sinners, everybody loves One Battle After Another, everybody loves Marty Supreme. I'm like, I haven't seen Marty Supreme, but the other two have not gripped me as much as they seem to have like the general public. Like I enjoy both of them, but I'm not over the moon about either of these or any of these movies. But I do understand that like I'm like, this feels like one of those big years where there's all these movies from all these big directors that people love. And you know, it's gonna be like a bloodbath no matter which way it shakes out. It's one of those. But personally, I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. I kind of feel like no matter what wins, I'll be like, okay, all right, cool. I'm happy with the lineup as far as like, there's nothing that I would say basically all of this stuff was either on my watch list already or just off, you know, like or close enough to where I'm like, okay, I'll take the excuse to watch them. So much better than most years where there's usually like one or two that I'm just like, I have zero desire to watch this, but I have to. Like
I'm so glad I didn't watch Amelia Perez.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Last year there was Amelia Perez and Wicked.
Wicked
Amelia
Part
Perez
2 didn't get shit.
I know, that's so great. I wonder how it like completely just fell off. Like, I don't know, but that's cool.
Yeah,
cool with me. Yeah, I watched 3 of the documentary feature films in the last couple days just because they're available. They're easy to watch. online. And I don't know. I like the Netflix one actually is probably my favorite. The Perfect Neighbor.
Oh, that has been because I've been on like a true crime slop kick on Netflix. That's usually my go-to on there because they just they have an endless supply of them. And that one always shows up, but I haven't watched it yet, but I might check it out. I read about it, and it seems like one that'll make me very sad and angry. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this. Like, I have to be in the right mood.
Yeah, it will. It'll. It's one of those. That one, and I watched that Mr. Nobody Against Putin, which was fine, and the Alabama Solution. Alabama Solution was also very aggravating.
Oh, about the prison system? No. Why would that make you aggravated?
Yeah. Again, I'm not surprised, but like I'm looking at all these different categories, and I'm like, you telling me I haven't seen Hamnet? You telling me that she did a better job than Danny Boyle 28 years later? Now, cinematography looks like that's a pretty good category, but tell me those are all better than 28 years later.
But also the thing with 28 years later is that like Danny Boyle is like an innovator of different styles and techniques as well. So it's like not only is that movie like gorgeous and cool looking and so distinct, but he also like built that cell phone rig to get those crazy ass shots of like all the rage guys getting killed. Like there's so much cool stuff that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, he was fine. He was no Ralph Fiennes in 28 years later.
I will 100%. I have a weird, maybe I've said this on the show before. I have a weird relationship with Guillermo del Toro where like I really like the idea of Guillermo del Toro. I think he's very interesting and very funny and like cool, and he has been given like carte blanche to do like his weird shit, and I'm glad that he does his weird shit. Other than like Pan's Labyrinth, I don't think anything that he's made has really like done much for me.
Yeah, we might have talked about this when did we talk about? I think we talked about Frankenstein like as like a post chat.
I probably said exactly what I just said that time too, but
because I felt the same exact way that like I think the only movies of his that I've like really liked, probably Pan's Labyrinth. I just don't remember much, but then it's like the Hellboy movies. Then like everything else he's done has been like that. Where like, yeah, I love the like production design. You know, like the way that his look, it's very like hyper stylized, kind of Tim Burton-y.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was especially after. Really, it was after Pinocchio, but then I think Frankenstein kind of solidified it for me, where I was just like, yeah, I just don't think I really like his stuff.
Frankenstein in particular looked like a Netflix movie. Like I know it was on Netflix, but it looked like a Netflix movie. It had that like weird artificiality, that color grading. Like I know some of the sets were practical, but some of it just. Like that blending of practical and VFX look that a lot of Netflix shows have, where like that's what it looked like to me, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see that with that one especially. There was something off about it where I was like, even though it does have the production design and like the look, like the cinematography was pretty good, I think, or just maybe not the cinematography, but just the look, the general look of it was nice. There was, something about it that was kind of like off-putting like that. But really, I think it's just the writing is just, it's never that, it's not that good to me. It's not very, there's nothing like that special about the writing that kind of, gets me. Like I don't get too like, involved to where like you know, like Frankenstein, he just kind of like, he does the same, you know, the whole Beauty and the Beast type. It turns it into like that kind of story. I'm like, this is kind of weird and stupid. And I don't know. I remember he did Nightmare Alley, I think, a couple years back.
Yeah.
Which was also just like, it's just kind of like things happen, and it's like, I vaguely remember what that one was about, but it's not like you can necessarily predict where everything's gonna go, or maybe that is it. But it's like, they never surprise me. It's just like stuff happens, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep, that I guess that's what would happen next. Okay, all right. Oh, and then it ends, and oh yeah, of course that's what happens. I remember the way that one ends. That's like the main thing that I remember about it, because it was so like telegraphed, like really early on, without them saying. They're like, "This is you remember that thing from before?" Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one, but
no.
Yeah.
They added it to like the Criterion collection, which is like
Nightmare Alley, or
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Did they add The Shape of Water to Criterion as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get the hype. I don't know.
Yeah, it was okay. I thought that one, you know, like, I guess like most of them. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it was okay. Or like,
yeah.
You know, they're all okay. Even like, I thought watching Pinocchio, I was like, I should love this. I should love this movie. But then it's done, and I'm just like, okay. I don't know. I have such a soft spot for like, I'm so easy on stop motion animated movies, and like, you know,
yeah,
animation's good, but I'm a sucker for this stuff. I should be like crying or something, but it just, again, it's just like the story of Pinocchio happens, and it's a little darker than the Disney one, but then it's over.
Oh, damn. I didn't realize Patrick McHale did the part of the screenplay for Pinocchio. That's kind of cool.
Oh, interesting.
Huh. Yeah, that was one that Chloe watched that I did not watch. I don't know where I was. I was doing something. And she's like, "Do you want to watch it?" And I was like, "That's fine. Probably not." I don't know. It's just,
yeah.
I'm like more interested in watching something like Blade 2. Like, I didn't realize he directed that. And like Blade 1 was so stupid and fun that I kind of want to see like what a Guillermo del Toro version of Blade 2 would be like.
Yeah. I mean, I would be interested in that too, since again, I like Hellboy, and that's that era, and it's also a comic book one. So, you know, maybe I would like that more than most of his stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we had a really good segue a minute ago that I wanted to capitalize on with A Perfect Neighbor, The Perfect Neighbor, because, hey, speaking of documentaries that will make you angry and sad.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 202 of ThereWillBeDuds, and I am your co-host, TJ, and with me as always,
I am Nick.
And as always, we watched a movie. that movie this week being Dear Zachary, A Letter to a Son About His Father, from 2008, directed by Kurt Kenny. I'm going off of how I think they say it. Somebody says it in the movie. It is a documentary that a guy made about his friend after he was murdered, with the intent of it being made for his friend's son, who was born after he was murdered. So he was kind of compiling it as like home footage, and like, this is what your dad was like. But then during the course of the filming, the son is also murdered. by what do they say, like allegedly or whatever, but it's by the same person that it's it's the worst movie of all time if you didn't know. Yeah, so the guy he's this guy who he goes out with this older lady who's kind of weird, and then I don't know if you have to say like allegedly. I don't know. She's dead. She shoots him. Yeah, she shoots him. She kills him, and then reveals later that she's pregnant with his son. So then the guy's parents are kind of fighting for custody over their grandchild and her kid, and then somehow she's not kept in jail while she's like in the course of being on trial for murder. And she uses that time and opportunity to, kill herself and the baby. So it's like, it's one of the most like angering things that you could ever see, like put to film, because there is absolutely no justice in this story. It's just pure grief and sorrow and loss. It's very miserable. And yet it's not like I do like having seen it before, knowing what's coming. Not like probably how you were this whole time, just wait, just your buttholes clenched the whole time, just like waiting for like, when's the shoe gonna drop? What's gonna happen that's gonna make me be like, oh, that's it. It is nice that like the movie knows that it's that like it doesn't even have to try to be like manipulative. Like it's what happens is already so like fucked up and dark already, that like I feel like the director knows that, this is going to be hard to watch. So he does a lot of stuff where like, it gets more and more serious as the movie goes on, but there's a lot of like moments of levity, it's edited and cut together in fun ways. It's like, even as far as like David and Kathleen, Katie, I forget what they like refer to her as, but the parents are like considering what they're there to talk about and all that. The fact that they're like kind of like smiling or like, they're talking about stuff, they're not just like weeping the entire time is something.
The only note that I took the entire time was coolest parents ever. Coolest parents ever. And like, I'm like, that basically sums it up. Like those two, considering what they've gone through, are still like can be jovial and silly and funny. And the whole time we were watching it, Chloe was like, this reminds me of like you and your friends. Like like making movies together. Like if like there was like behind the scenes footage of like us back in the day doing shit like that. It's which like would be a horrific yeah. But it's like the fact that like his dad would be in the movies with them, and like they would get his dad to like swear at him and say stuff like acting, just like even in near the end, I think it's a quote from Andrew, like it's like a behind the scenes thing where he's talking, where he's like, I got an earring and it took my parents didn't even know, like this sort of like symbol of teenage rebellion. Like, I'm going to go get a piercing and then we'll see what you think about that. And then his parents like didn't even notice or acknowledge it for like 2 weeks. And then he's basically like, guys, I have a piercing. Did you notice that? And they're like, oh, when did you do that? Like they just like, they're like the most normal, like rational, like, it's like, oh, you want to do this? You want to pursue this? Awesome. We'll help you do that. Oh, you're interested in this? We'll help you do that. And I think that's what makes this so powerful, is that you see snippets of Andrew's life and everyone who talks about him. And it's like, you immediately have a lump in your throat the entire time, because like before you know anything else about the story, you learn like how much people like love this guy and how charismatic and funny and like, you know, helpful. Like he cut a check to like the director in their youth to help him fund a movie while he was like going to medical school. And I did see a few Letterboxd reviews where people were kind of like mad about this movie for like being manipulative or not like giving full context to everybody. Like they're like, this whole documentary, Andrew looks like a perfect saint and Shirley looks like the devil. And it's like,
it's because she is. That's one of the. I only took a couple notes too, and one of my notes was actual demon. She is like evidence that like demons are real and they live on Earth.
I'm like, what do you need a cutaway of someone like talking about Andrew cheating on like a high school test to like provide enough nuance for like, you know, she killed him and then suicided him and his baby, but like, you know, he was not nice to a high school girlfriend one time. I was like, wow, this, you know, these two things really are, you know, like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
it's also like a documentary that is made by someone who loved a person. Like I understand like the impulse,
personal, like
I understand the impulse to want like documentaries to be, you know, fly on the wall, unbiased, presenting like just the facts. You know, I think that's the whole idea. But it's like, well, this is different. Like if this was if this was like a documentary about like some like, you know, event that happened, like if this is like a documentary about like, I don't know, Waco or like some sort of, you know, thing that's like well documented,
like a true crime thing that happened.
Yeah. Like, but it's like that is not what this is, and I don't think the director is like trying to manipulate you into thinking that that's what it is. Like the whole thing is, this is you are not going to meet your dad. Everybody loved him. He was awesome. This is what he was like. So like, that's what you're going to show the kid.
Yeah, like it literally was made as like a very personal, obviously, I wouldn't even say bias, but yeah, like imagine if he was like, I'm gonna make this thing for Zachary, you know, for his dad that he won't know, and like the original intent, but he's like, but I'm a serious filmmaker, so I'm gonna talk to the woman that he raped in college, and Zachary, you're gonna see that. That's gonna be at the start.
Oh my god!
like imagine if he was like, and again, it's like what context do you want some defense or what for her? Like there is no, like, it's very cut and dry. I mean, the fact that she murder-suicided her baby. Like, she is not a human being. She has no soul. She doesn't deserve defense or anything like that. Yeah. Whatever. Mental illness, fuck you. She killed a baby. Like, I don't give a shit. Yeah. Like when that happens and you hear like David just like go off, like they're these like mild-mannered like old people, and then he's like, fucking bitch. Like
it was so cathartic to hear David like go off, because I feel like usually documentaries like this, everyone's very solemn and like somber and weepy, and I think they're like, okay, I'm like a talking head in a documentary, so I'm trying to be. I realize the camera is on me, and I realize how people are going to perceive me. And so it's like, I'm going to, you know, express my frustration in a way that's palatable for viewers that maybe won't, that will compel them to like see things my way, or at least understand my perspective. And it's like, I'm not going to like scream and call her a bitch because that might alienate women who don't like being called bitches, or,
Yeah.
like I think some people would think about, they would like choose their words carefully. And then David's like, I should have just killed her.
Yeah. Yeah. When he's talking about like, he's like, I thought about,
well, here are our options.
like waiting until she was asleep and like, yeah, like going down the, like very logically, like these are the things that we can do. And the safest thing to do is to kill her. And
it's like,
in retrospect,
correct.
Yeah. Yes. I made it, I made it through the bulk of it without like, because again, you see this once and you're a hardened, a stone. You can't, like, I'm still like, when it gets to near the end and I'm just like, just staring, just like emotionless at my screen, just like, yeah, and yes, this part and everything. But then I did what kind of got me, what got me to tear up at the end is that final, the final bit where he says that like he realized that he was making this for them or whatever, like kind of bringing it around to just like being about David and Kathy, and that's really good. The way that this movie like flows and switches, like not the subject matter, but like the presentation or that like the driving force, like what it's about, because that does like change at random points because of usually Shirley.
Yeah.
And like, but being able to kind of bring it together to like with that sort of like unified thing of like it's been about them the whole time is really, really cool.
Yeah.
It's just it's such a neat way to like put a bow on the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, when it's like when he plays the montage of every person saying how much they love them and like you have children in us, it's just like you're just getting assaulted by it. Like in a good way. You're not, it's not like yeah. It finds a way to make it like I don't know. It's not to say that the movie has like a happy ending, but it's like it's nice that he's able to like find he finds a silver lining. He finds the light. Yeah.
In the darkness, so it doesn't just go to credits and you have absolutely no like no happiness or anything.
Yeah. If it had just ended like, yep, so you're both gone. So who I don't. Because it's like, yeah, dude, if I was like making it, if this was the premise of my documentary and I had spent so much time collecting like childhood footage from like tapes, converting tapes to put it into like editable materials, filming interviews with people, traveling to Europe to like see other like family members, and then like doing this giant cross-country trek, and then meeting Zachary. I knew.
Yeah, I meet him too.
I basically knew what happened. I knew that Zachary was murdered, but I did not. I thought this whole thing took place after the fact. So like the fact that he made it there and like actually met Zachary like a month before he was murdered was like, I like as a documentarian, if that was in those shoes, I don't know if I would be like, yeah, how do I make this? What do I do? Like, I would be so disheartened, like disheartened, whatever. I would be, I was like, I can't do this. I can't keep doing this. And then it's like, I have to finish this. And then I think that's the perfect way to conclude it. It was like, okay, well, honestly, like this is who it was for the entire time, because they raised Andrew and like their like sensibilities are like ingrained in him too. So it's, it kind of comes full circle. I noticed you logged it on Letterboxd, so I watched it too. I watched the 14-minute the legacy of Dear Zachary.
Yeah. And
I went into it and I was like, it's 14 minutes. it's quick, it's easy. It's just going to be kind of like a rapid fire, like, here's what happened. Here's like the law that got passed. How bad could it be? How bad could this little postscript of this documentary be? And dude, I was like all over again. Within the first 2 minutes, like the one guy's kids went to Build-A-Bear and made one for Zachary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then they were like talking about how much Andrew loved Christmas and how they hadn't put up a Christmas tree in 9 years since he was killed. And then it's like at the very end after the law gets passed, and then he's like, for the first time in 9 years, they put up a Christmas tree. And I'm like, this is only 14 minutes long. I was like, I fully underestimated that like it was gonna like do it again to me, and it did it again to me, because I'm like, God damn. Like it's obviously much more like uplifting because they were able to like make somewhat meaningful change. When it's like his parents, I don't know if they're still alive. I don't think there's like really anything about them like anywhere. They don't really have like a social media presence or anything like that. I couldn't find them. But it's like they're old. Like in the documentary from like 2008, which they were filming in like 2001, 2002, 2003.
Right. Yeah.
They looked like they were in their 60s then. And like the fact that like they're that old and like could be just like retired, the fact that they did everything that they did and like pressured lawmakers to like change some things so it doesn't happen again. It's just like crazy, like how much grit and determination that they had to like keep pressing this thing and to keep doing. Like in the 14-minute documentary after, she said that she was going to have like cataract surgery, but she said like she was going to postpone the surgery in order to like be able to talk to the Canadian lawmakers. So it's like their dedication to it is like wild, and it's crazy.
Well, at that point, it's like that's all, and I think they more or less say it's like that's all they can do. It's like that's why it's like it's so bad. It's like not only is their son dies and their grandson dies, it's like she kills herself too. It's like, so you don't even get the like satisfaction or whatever of seeing her rot in jail. It's like she essentially got away with it. She did everything she wanted to do. So it's like that's where like that you feel that like anger that that David is expressing at the end, because you're like, God, there's just nowhere to put any of it. Yeah, it's just like he says, like this is what she leaves us with. Though still on that, I have to levy one criticism, because against the editing, because that's one of the things that I do love. Like again, getting to kind of watch this with a more analytical eye, I guess, or whatever. Is I love the editing. I could see the whole like that like rapid fire, like so much of the movie is just like boom, boom, boom. You're just being assaulted with shots and like clips, and there's like so much like overlap. I like it. I could see it not working for some people. But there is one bit that like I'm not gonna say it fully took me out of it, but it's at the like darkest moment of the entire movie.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's okay, you probably do. It's when I'm not smiling because of the thing, because of what happens, but it's when you find out that Shirley killed herself and Zachary, and then it's like it does a like an angry scream, and it's like I'm picturing like YouTube poops.
Yes,
and like,
yep.
And like
I feel like it even does like the invert colors, and it's like red, and you're like,
yeah. And there's part of me that's like, yes, I get it. I get what you're doing. Yes, this is how you feel. but at the same time, I'm like, I'm too poisoned by like stupid.
Like, add in the
animation.
sound
I
effect to
don't
the
know.
guy that's going like, fuck.
Yeah. Or yeah, like, you know, rage comic face.
Like, why you no justice system?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Derpina.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's on me, but it does like it's
Yeah,
it doesn't.
I did take
fully
a mental
snap
note
me
of that
out.
when
I'm
it
not-
happened.
Yeah. I wasn't like, it didn't make me like laugh, but I was like, I did kind of have to go like, okay. I'm not gonna go there. We're not gonna. Most everything else, though, you know, I don't think there was any other like big criticisms as far as like the filmmaking. You know, obviously with the caveat that it's like supposed to be a film or like a home video essentially.
Right.
But I don't know. How did you feel about the overall editing, the quick cutting, all that stuff was?
Oh no, I thought it was I think it knew when to give you time to breathe and when time to be quiet, and then I think a lot of it, because there was the other part that like I almost kind of laughed at, and I do think he meant it to be a little bit funny, is when he was quoting like the group of shitheads that were in like Shirley's court, because it was like he didn't obviously have any clips of them speaking, like none of them agreed to be in the documentary, so he just took like photos of them from like the newspaper and did almost like early internet like jib jab style, like bah, 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 like quoting them from the paper, but then made their mouth kind of open up and down a little bit to just and like that one part when they kept quoting the doctor that said that like, oh well, she's no immediate threat to anyone around her because the person that she intended to kill is already dead, so she's not. And like the way that he kept like going back to that quote like rapid fire, and then would like read her rap sheet of like all the other shit that was never even considered in court. Like if you read the Wikipedia article for this, like about the murder, there's like a lot of context too. There's like so many men that she attempted to kill herself on some dude's porch. Like she had like stalking
they make a
charges.
reference to that. They do, or that she did. She went to her ex's house and like did something.
Yeah, like she took a bunch of pills and like fell over on his porch. But it was like she had like there were so many dudes that had restraining orders against her. Like and just the fact that like every single time like any of those things is mentioned, it cuts back to that same doctor. That's like, she doesn't pose a risk to anyone in the public. And then also the way that he like very rapid fire went through like just how agonizingly long the court process took because the murder happened in the United States. She's a Canadian citizen, so she went back to Canada and like, it's like the way that I feel about it is that like, I think the justice system largely like fails people that are like trying to fight like for their innocence. I don't know. I think it's largely like not a great system. But then it's like you read about lawyers like this that know exactly how to like just delay shit. And it's just like, oh, you're just like exploiting this thing to do what? Yeah. I mean, like obviously everybody who's been accused of a crime like deserves a lawyer to defend themselves, right? Like that's like it's how society should work. Yeah. But then it's like you don't have to do shit where the judge is like, oh, you don't have a lawyer right now and you need to learn how to appeal your case so you can get out on bail. Let me tell you how to do that. Yeah. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. What do you mean?
Like what power did she have over these guys? Like when like everybody, and maybe this is with the hindsight 2020, and them knowing that was an insane person. But like everybody that he interviews, like in the thing, is like, yeah, she was weird. She kind of made us all feel a little weird, and she was very like, she was a bit too like handsy with Andrew, and so like again, maybe that's with the retrospective of what happened, but like everybody's like, yeah, she was a weird one. And like you see the video and you're like, I could see her being a little like, I get what they're saying. Like,
Yeah.
she seems a little weird. So how is she so like,
how is she
like
this powerhouse of charisma? Like,
yeah.
I mean, they do reference, they do sort of talk about like, oh yeah, she could like manipulate really well. She could really turn it on when she wanted to. She was good at like appearing normal when it suited her. Because that was another thing that like I said to Chloe after this, because I think I told you this, that she wanted to watch this like before it was even a Dud Cup movie, and I was like, do you really want to watch this? Because I knew stuff about it. Are you sure about that? I think I sent you the Malcolm in the Middle gif where Hal does the
that's her.
But like one of the things that we talked about afterwards was like, how did Shirley make it to like 42 years old and not like have something put her in jail? Like, how is she a doctor? How was she able to like get that far in life when she's so clearly just like a unrelenting sociopath?
Yeah. Unless Andrew like was just he was the key that like maybe she was like a normal person, and then she met him and she just went, I don't know. I don't know.
I think the other thing specifically about her that was so aggravating also was like the lengths that Andrew's parents went to. Like, I cannot imagine, in order to spend time with your grandson, having to pretend to be cordial with the person that you are 99% sure shot your son 5 times. Like, anytime there is a picture of like David and Katie with Zachary and Shirley and they're all smiling, I'm like, that is hell. That is hell on earth.
Yeah.
To be like doing like a family vacation style thing, like having Zachary in the kiddie pool, and I guess everybody posed for a picture like you're all one big happy family. And like the way that she could just, the way that both of them could like compartmentalize that, where it's like they're in the picture smiling with them and it's like they know who she is and that she's like the literal devil, but it's what they have to do to see their grandson, so they deal with it. And then the way that Shirley just like twists the knife and was like, well, should we have a photo of me and the baby on the wall there too? Like, I'm not, you killed our son. I do not want to hang a photo of you in my house. Like, and it's like, it's either like willful, intentional, like ignorance, or just like evil, or probably some combination of both on Shirley's part.
Could be.
Whereas like she's so used to being evil that she doesn't even recognize that she's doing it, and like it seems like a normal request to her to just be like, yeah, can we put should we get family photos taken with all of us? And it's like, I want to strangle you and watch the light leave your eyes is actually what I would like to do.
Yeah.
But she'd be like, why? I don't understand.
Yeah, there's some like sometimes when they're talking on the phone or whatever and you're hearing her talk, or I'm like has she convinced herself that like she didn't do it or something, or like does she not realize, or has she convinced herself that she's convinced everyone else that she didn't do it at the very least? Yeah, because it feels like she never even had like a like inkling of remorse for like anything she did either. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's like Andrew dying was just like a happenstance. Like, whoops, I don't know. Like
mhm.
she didn't even do the OJ Simpson thing where it's like, man, his killer must still be out there somewhere. Like she didn't even
Yeah,
bother doing that.
yeah. Um, and oh yeah, and then I don't remember if it's in the movie or in the extra video. Uh, and they mentioned her having like kids, but then in one of them you see like one of her kids who's like a
Yeah, that's in
teenager,
the main one.
and
Yeah.
he's just like a normal kid, and that one also made me think like, man, that also has to suck for them. Like, I don't know what their. It seemed like he had some relationship with her before she died. So like, God, I just that's gotta suck to be those kids too.
Yeah.
uh,
Well, that's the whole thing too. Is like at the beginning of the documentary, it mentions that she has like 3 other kids from a previous marriage before she even
mhm,
met Andrew, and you don't even really hear about them like at all until the very end when
mhm.
you see one of them. Which I don't think they really talk about it in the doc, but I think when she moves back to Canada, I think she's living with one of her sons, like in his apartment
Oh,
for like briefly.
oh,
But
okay.
it's like, how do you even like as her offspring look into the eyes of like the family of the like the life that she ruined? Like, how do you?
Yeah, and like, I mean, she also like killed your brother too. Like she killed their
Yeah,
half
yeah,
brother.
yeah,
So, um, because I think I'm pretty sure the one that is in it, you see either like a picture or there is video. So like he, again, I don't know how close they were, but he at least like had met Zachary.
yeah.
Um, so they had some kind of relationship. So it wasn't just like it was a random kid. Um,
Right.
and yeah, she's just like just selfish and I don't know. That's what it boils down to. Like, just kill yourself. Like just kill yourself. You don't have to. You didn't have to. Oh, I don't know. And then maybe that's what I was thinking of. Maybe not the thing that you said about her like trying to kill herself at her ex's house, but it said like before she did that, she went to one of her ex's houses and like left a letter or something like that. Like she basically was like trying to frame him for her murder suicide. Maybe that
That's
was in the
right.
post
Yeah, it was.
thing. Or,
No, I think that was in the main doc. It was like
that was in the main thing too. Okay.
she left like a tampon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
It's like
Yeah.
she's trying to leave like physical evidence or
Yeah.
something like to prove that she was there. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the reason that she took Zachary with her was one because she's just like the most evil, spiteful piece of shit person.
Yeah.
But
She
but
didn't
also
want
because
anyone else to have him.
yeah, and it's like throughout the
Yeah.
documentary there are moments where like they like had a birthday party for him and Zachary would always want to go towards Kathleen and not
Mhm.
Shirley. And it's like even that kid instinctively sort of knew. Like I think David says something about it, but just like her version of nurturing was just like cold and inauthentic compared to like the genuine warmth that they felt for him. And I think that also there's like a quote from her where she's like, oh, well, it looks like he likes you more, so why don't you take him? Like there's like a quote from Shirley saying something along those
Mhm.
lines. And I think that was also something that was like probably eating up at her. It was just like, yeah, you're like a terrible parent. You killed his father. You're like a failure as a parent. And instead of just giving the kid up and ending your life yourself, you had to take him with you because yeah, it was 100% her trying to win. And that was her version of winning. And she did it. And it's
Mhm.
so frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another good use. There's a lot of good use of like archival footage and like the audio, like what you're saying about it, like repeating the like she's not a threat to anyone sort of thing. But there's like,
Yeah.
I think it's after they die, and it's like playing that audio. I think like there's like no other like the music drops out or whatever, and you just hear her saying like over and over again like "Mommy loves you very much." It's like that one it made me feel icky.
Yep.
Another kind of good like impactful use of the archival footage was earlier on when they're talking about when they went to the morgue to identify Andrew, and they're saying that like he had like the shroud over his face so they couldn't see him, and like the footage that it's using is it's like Andrew as a little kid and he has like a fly swatter in front of his face, you know, the part I'm talking about, and he's just like holding it there, and then I don't even know if you hear him say anything, but then like in the footage he like pulls it away, and it's that
They do that a
Yeah,
handful
really.
of times where they'll juxtapose the movies he made as kids and like juxtapose
Yeah.
it with events of like when it, like I think there was one, I think it's a shot of him and Kurt the director where like Andrew is playing a character who dies in like their short film.
He like shoots him and then and I think it shows him being like, oh no, and he like gets shot. And then it shows him in the road. Yeah, there's also another one in there in their video where Kurt says in their movie, Kurt says like, I'll travel back in time and stop you from dying. Like I think that was probably put in there intentionally too. Man.
Yep.
It's a weird one just because of it being a documentary and it being in the subject matter. It's I don't know. It's not really like a good like natural stopping point as far as like a discussion, but
yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to cover?
No, I think that about sums it up.
Okay. Then I'll start. I think I'll go with like a light 9 for this. It's between, could be an 8 on another day, but I'll go with a light 9. I think it's obviously like it's a memorable and known documentary for a reason, for what happens in it. But I'm not that I haven't been manipulated or won over by documentaries just based on subject matter alone in the past, but I try to, like judge it on like its actual like merits, not just what happens in it. But that is a pretty major reason why it's so known, is because it is probably the saddest movie that you'll ever see, or it'll be up there. But also the reason that I love it is because the editing I think is fantastic. The great use of all the home video footage, mix with the audio to add greater effect to the emotional beats or whatnot, in the way that movies should and good documentaries should. Except for the Scream edits, I think it's pretty great as far as that goes. So yeah, I'll say I'll stick with a light 9.
I think I'm right in that ballpark, like a strong 8 for me. I think if I had like totally gone into it totally blind, it would have been up there, but I kind of knew what was going to happen. And yeah, the scream is like one of the few things that like took me out of it for like a fraction of a second. But otherwise, I don't know. I think it is like one of the most like touching and moving and angering and saddening things that you'll ever see. That it's like, yeah, it's like my favorite documentary that I only want to watch one time and never again, because it is just it's such a tough watch because it's such a sad story. They need a Kenzo from the Emperor's Naked Army to show up and like beat the shit out of Shirley. Some old dude to just show up and be, that's my fanfic. I was like, we've done a handful of documentaries for the show, and I think this is probably like the saddest one. But yeah, like you said, the editing is really special too. Like we were just talking about the way that they were identifying the body and just using archival footage of him as a baby. And it's like when they reveal that when they positively ID him, it like reveals his face as a child. Shit like that is just so gut wrenching, and it's so effective. And people are like, oh, it's too biased. It should be more objective. It's like, this is like one of the most horrific things that's ever happened. And there's no objectivity here. I don't know if you're asking me in terms of like this case specifically. And I think that's what makes this like such a powerful experience to see, is that it's an unabashed love letter to like someone that changed the lives of so many people. Like even in the follow-up documentary, when they're talking about like getting funding to get it to like film festivals, he says that it was like the last scene in It's a Wonderful Life, when the townspeople show up to bring all the money. And that is another movie that, like, as I've gotten older and more sentimental, It's a Wonderful Life absolutely obliterates me whenever we watch it around Christmas time. So like seeing Andrew as like the Jimmy Stewart character, and then everyone rallies around him at the end to like bring money, is just like, it's just like another twist of the knife. So yeah, it's great. Watch it, and if you do, I'm sorry, but also you're welcome.
Nice. I am. It's funny. We not just because of the movie, but we gave ourselves, we had extra time to watch this, because we did the Vault episode before this, so we had a lot of extra time to watch this, and I was still like, I've seen it before, and I was like, I've seen it, it'll be fine, but I was still like, when I hit play, I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this right now. And then as soon as it started, over, I was like,
dreading it.
Thank God. Yeah. So it was it's a great movie, but yeah, I'm very happy that it's over now. Speaking of devils,
the number of the beast.
Yeah. Old Nick. That's who Shirley is. Actual old Nick. Yeah, we both watched the new 28 years later, The Bone Temple. The sequel to the one from last year, which seems generally like it's getting a better like reception. Well, it's not box office wise, which is another thing, but it does seem like just from what I've heard and from people that I know who have seen it, that people are liking this one more, but less people are seeing it, which could be, I've heard that's maybe because like some people like don't even realize that it's a different movie, which like I guess doesn't surprise me, but it kind of does. I don't know. It's like people are dumb. Like that's why studios put so much money into marketing, is because like if you don't make stuff cookie cutter clear, people are gonna be like, oh, didn't that already come out?
What's this? Yeah. But also the fact that like they filmed both movies back to back and basically released them within 6 months of each other. I can see people being like, I thought didn't that already come out? Wasn't that the same? It's like, no, it's different. It's different.
And they should have they should have done part 1 as dumb as I think that is like as a title for stuff.
Yeah.
They really probably should have said part 1, because that's how it worked with Wicked. Like Wicked Part 2 had a lot of people knew that one was coming out, because when the first one ended, you saw that I don't know if you know this, but like they kind of like kept that hidden, sort of, that it was going to be a two movie thing. But at the end of part 1, you see the title Wicked and then fading, and then part 1 fades in underneath it.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have done that with 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
As tacky as that is.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, some of the like just bad and wrong opinions I heard about the first 28 Years Later make me mad. People really complained about the visual style and the editing, which I'm like, I don't understand that, because it's so cool. And then I guess maybe a little more valid of a criticism, but still I think you're kind of dumb for not liking it, is like people really seem to dislike the ending of the first one, where
where
some it's like do. It's like this very meditative, somber thing where Spike goes out on his own. He gives the infected non-infected baby to his dad, and he's like gonna go venture out on his own. And then in like the last second, the Jimmies show up and they just do like martial arts crazy shit, and then the movie ends
to the Teletubbies song.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, if you, in my opinion, that's sort of the Wicked Part 1. That's like, okay, who the hell are these guys?
Oh yeah,
where is this
like
going?
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
Because it's like, clearly it's like the kid from the beginning of the movie, because he's got the upside down cross, so it's like it's telegraphed, like they showed you that for a reason. Like, of course he's going to come back. I just think people didn't expect it. I think it didn't have like that sort of very satisfying it's the end. Like Spike goes off on his own journey, fade to black, end credits. I think people like it was jarring, and it's different, so therefore bad, and they don't like it. Yeah,
and it could also just be because I think that first one did have a pretty it has a lot of fans, but there was a lot of like I just kind of like general audience. I think it was a little bit more mixed, just because it is different. I don't know. I mean, I heard a lot of complaints about that movie. I don't agree. I don't know what it is.
You're working at the theater?
Yeah. Just like complaints about like, I don't know, dumb shit. Like if you watch the first one, dumb shit. You don't know what you're talking about, you idiots. Like not enough zombies, or they didn't like the alphas. Like, oh, zombies aren't supposed to like the fact that like zombies, you know, the alphas are like intelligent, like somewhat intelligent, and they're not just like mindless. It's like, it's the same, you know, it's the same writer. He can do what he wants, really. It's his story. Like and at this point I'm like, with zombie movies, not that they're quite as huge as they were, you know, 10, 15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And or at least for me, where I was watching them like all the time, I'm like, I like clamor for something like 28 Years Later. Where I'm like, I want them to do something different. I want it to be like, take those risks, take those swings.
Yeah.
And I'd say both of these movies do take a lot of swings in different ways. Like I think Bone Temple is it's not as like technically experimental as the first one. You know, they shoot it with regular cameras and it's shot a little bit more like a normal movie.
Yeah.
But it's still a very different structure. You know, it's kind of like not only is Spike just kind of like a side character, it's like you kind of have two main characters, right? You have like Kelsey, or you could even say three. Like honestly, like Samson is kind of like the third main character here. But yeah, it's split between like, you know, you're good, it's good and evil sort of thing. With Jimmy and Kelson. And yes, there's a lot of reasons that it could have been. It could be marketing, or it could just be, you know, they didn't like how the first one went, or like. But I feel like regardless of how people felt about that ending scene or the movie, even, it seems like it was kind of a general consensus that like, well, yeah, but Jimmy was cool though, or like I want to see where that goes. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It was definitely a good cliffhanger, and I mean, yeah, I would agree, but I liked the movie anyways.
Right. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that like zombie lore. I need to know lore. I need to know like why there's an alpha, and I need to know why it doesn't make sense that this is like that, and that's it's a virus, and viruses mutate, and it's been 28 years since the initial outbreak, and like I don't know, it's almost like a new strain of human being. So it's like, I don't know, you can fill in the spaces with your mind of just how do alphas happen? Well, you know, sometimes like it's shown that when they're not attacking humans, they have their own sort of like community and culture. Like you see them in the river, like eating fish or like kind of scavenging. And it's like one of them is pregnant. And so it's like, it's implied that they, at the very least, like know how to have sex with each other. Unless it was a pregnant woman who got attacked.
Unless that was before, yeah, they don't.
Yeah, I guess I don't know
for sure.
But again, you can leave it up to interpretation. It could be just like a pregnant woman who happened to be in the area and she got attacked and, you know, succumbed to the rage virus. But also I was like, do the alpha? Because like it seemed like Samson had like a particular like feeling towards the baby, because in the Bone Temple, as he's like kind of regaining consciousness, which I did not expect this movie to go in that direction, that Kelson was essentially going to find some sort of like antidote to the rage virus. I never even dreamed that it was going to be a thing. I thought it was going to be like, we need to like blow up Europe. Like they were just going to like burn it all and just restart. But like, so that thread was totally unexpected. But it's like, as he's coming to, he goes to that train station. But I guess it does show that like he has that flashback of him there as a child. Yeah. So he does have that association. But I was like, is he going back because that's where like the pregnant woman was? Where like, because I think in 28 years later, he does go back there and find the pregnant woman's dead body, and he has some kind of reaction, I think.
Because she has the baby, and then and then they kill her, because after she has the baby, she tries to attack him, so they shoot her, and then he drops in, and he kills the Swedish guy, and then and then it's Spike and his mom, and they're kind of like backing up, I think, and you see him like he has a moment with the pregnant one, like he either like does like a face touch, probably not that, or he just like sees her and like yells, like you can tell that he's registering that like they killed her, whether or not you know it's because she has a baby and he has that sort of parental instinct or what, you know, you don't really know anything beyond that, but yeah, there is some recognition there. But yeah, I remember when go ahead.
but then again, she could have easily just like given birth to that baby, and they would have looked at it and they would have realized that it's not one of them. So they probably just would have like ripped it apart.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he was like, maybe that's why he was angry. He was like,
He's like, I wanted to eat that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when just read, I don't know, some interviews or whatever, seeing some stuff, some press stuff after the first one came out. And they were saying that they had said that that Samson was gonna like play a larger part in the sequel. I think that was it. And I remember reading that and I was like, that's dumb. I was like, why? I was like, he's cool in the first one, you know. I'm like, he's a good, like, you know, threatening presence. He's very scary when he's on screen because he's like 7 feet tall and he rips people's heads off with one hand. But I was still like, but why? He's like, in my head, I was like, okay, but he's just a zombie, is whatever. It could be any of them.
Right.
But then, yeah, that was like my favorite part about this one, and I thought that was incredible writing. Like the coolest and most invested I've ever been in like a, you know, zombie cure like storyline or whatever. Like the way that it's so slow and methodical, and Kelson's such a great character just in general. I love Kelson so much. I love his like the level of empathy, and like he is like the best doctor. He's like the doctor that everybody would want to have, because he just cares about like life and care and just care and stuff. And yeah, I was really surprised how much I was like that like worked for me, because that was maybe my biggest skepticism going into it, was like, why are they making Samson like a part of this story? Like, why is he coming back? But like as soon as like early on you get that like cutaway to the two of them like sitting by the river, I was like, I'm fucking in. This is awesome.
Someone took the clip from It's Always Sunny where Dennis and Charlie are like, they're like tripping balls. And someone was like, this is just Dr. Kelson and Samson during like 28 years later, the Bone Temple. And it's when Charlie's like standing above Dennis, like doing that. And Dennis is just like sitting there. And when Charlie like grabs his eyes and he goes,
oh yeah.
The most subtle gasp of breath that Glenn Howerton does there is so goddamn funny. When he like regurgitates the eyes, he goes, but I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just like Charlie's Kelson just like dancing in front of him.
Yeah.
like they're like dancing like that. It's so funny because then like one of the Jimmies sees this and sees that he's like, they're like, oh, that must be the devil because he's like red and he's communing with like the demons, which
yeah,
it's like, meanwhile he's just like, you know, dancing with him because he's like, oh, I can like, when you're sedated, like you're more pliable as a person. Which also I thought that was
like singing to him to try to like
trigger, just like recollect something.
Yeah.
I love the way that was like slowly revealed, where Samson shows up and he's aggro, but he's not necessarily attacking yet. And then he's like, and then he pulls up the blow dart. And then Kelson's like, oh, you're addicted to morphine.
Yeah.
You like how it makes you feel. So you're intentionally trying to like give the illusion that you're attacking so you can get more morphine. It's like, oh, the way that it like kind of subverts what you think is going to happen. You're like, oh, holy shit. Okay. Like there's still something in there. Cause I think 28 Days Later, like that movie coming out Because I think up until then, I don't know, maybe we've talked about this before. Up until then, I feel like the zombie movies were like, it was more like voodoo type zombies, or it was like the dead will rise again. They infect each other by like biting, and then you become a zombie.
Oh yeah, like,
and this is more of like an engineered, like, you know, in the beginning of 28 Days Later, the monkeys are strapped to the TV and they're just like watching just like political violence and street violence, and it's just like filling them up, and it's like a virus, and it's like inspired all these other pieces of media since then. But it's like they sort of explore that in like The Last of Us, or at least like the game. I don't know if they do it in the TV show, but in the game, there's like these like little segments where you're trying to sneak around them, like the clickers that like use echolocation. You're trying to be quiet, but around like the normal, just sort of like standard infected, if you sneak around and you get close enough, you can hear them like muttering to themselves. You can hear them like talking and basically saying like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like they're fighting. They're fighting their active descent into insanity. And so I think that's like partially inspired by 28 Days Later, is that it's like, it's a virus. So it's like the people in there are still like technically people, and it's like their brain is just being overridden, and I guess they never really explored that in like the 28 days, or I mean, well, well, maybe they did kind of explore that, because the one infected that they keep
lightly touch on it. Yeah, that's
he seems to like know what he's doing a little bit, because I think when Jim frees him, he looks at him. And then it's like, it's almost like a sort of acknowledgement that it's like Jim is basically saying, go get him, pal. And he's like, and then he runs off.
Yeah. It was always like kind of lightly there, but they definitely like, you know, more fully explore it in these ones. I like that. Yeah. Even other like zombie media where it is like a virus, it's never like, it's never like a actual virus. It's just like, yeah, it's a thing and it infects you and the world's over. You know, there's no point in curing it. That's never going to happen. It's just that because that's how zombies work. It wouldn't be fun if you could cure it. But this, it's like, it's great how it feels very like, they've always said that it's like a mental, like, you know, it triggers your rage. It's the rage virus. It, you know, it makes you like uninhibited and angry. And it's like, okay, so yeah, how do you treat that? And he's like, well, it could be a psychosis. And like, okay, yes, this is cool. It's cool hearing like this kind of like theorizing about like, you know, this might work, it might not, I don't know, but we're gonna just have to go for it because I might be dead tomorrow. I was like probably more invested in those two than like I've ever been in like anybody in this whole series. It was like every time, because like once they start making headway, you're like, oh my god, they might like actually do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna figure something out. And then like, I mean, even before he gives him the pills, when he's just on the morphine and he goes, Hoon. You're like, like, oh shoot, pull my headphones out. But just like, like every sort of like, every step they make towards it feels so monumental, and I was just so incredibly invested in their story. And like every time, so like when he's on the train and he's just like, I don't have my ticket. I was like, oh, did that happen?
Yeah.
But then like all the zombies like they register him as human. Which for a second you're like, oh, cool. But then like, you know, they start attacking him and I was like, no, I was fully sure. I was like, of course, I totally thought that they were just going to kill Samson there. That they're like, yep, he did it. And now he dies. But then like the one like spits up in his face, like spits the blood up in his face, and he just like yells back at him, and you're like, yeah, no. Because I don't know if you had that thought, but I had that thought of like, oh, is he just going to get reinfected and it's just going to start over here?
And I feel like they very intentionally showed him getting bit, and they showed him getting the blood sprayed in his face, and he didn't. He did not turn again. And I was like, that feels very intentional.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But then it like cuts away. And I think you see like a faraway shot and you just hear like the screaming or whatever. And then you don't see it. You don't see a follow up until it's in the middle of the Number of the Beast. And you see him like step out of the train just completely covered in blood. And you just see that. And I was like,
yeah. Yep.
Because that scene was so fucking awesome. And then like that happens and I'm like, yes. Like I was doing the same thing that the Jimmies were. I was just like, like the whole time. Like
God. Yeah. The way that Jack O'Connell's facial expressions during that scene were so priceless, where he, obviously he came over and he was like, look, if you don't do this, I'm going to kill you and say that you were like a false prophet or something. So like, I need you to pretend to be the devil to like, so I can keep this charade going for like my followers. But even though Jimmy was like a threatening presence, the conversation that him and Kelson had was weirdly like, I like the way that they did that, where Jimmy was it showed another side of him where he was like, oh, you're like the first intelligent person I've spoken to in like a long time. And it was like this sort of respect that he had scene for him, where it was like them just like Kelson wasn't immediately like, oh my God, you're here to kill me, I need to defend myself. He was just like, oh, hi, like, do you want to talk about like philosophy and like the nature of life? Like, he was just very like cordial. And he's like, I think even Jimmy recognized that and was like, oh, you are not like anyone else that I've come across. But the look on his face when Number of the Beast starts playing and Kelson is like doing his whole show, it's incredible for him to be like, because he has to pretend that like, yeah, obviously I expected this to happen because it's the devil. Like, even he is so taken aback by it, by like this pure spectacle, that he pauses just like the other Jimmies. And I think even he is like, are you the devil? like it seems like he has that thought where he's like, he's convinced. He's like, oh shit, maybe you are.
Yeah. And then he's even like, and then you get a sense of him being like, okay, I'm impressed. This was awesome. Like, you went above and beyond. And I love the scene where they talk, just because it's like Jimmy's still like, a threat. He's still insane, but you do get like a different side of him. Like, I remember thinking, like, when he's walking up to him before he actually like greets him, and he's like scared. Yeah. He's like, you can see that he has like a look of fear on his face. And at first I was just like, because I thought that he was, that's other like nice reveal there with that scene, is that like he is literally like insane. Like, he actually believes that he is the son of Satan. Like, it's not just an act. The fact that, it's partially an act, but he does believe what he's like spouting. And because like when he first like approaches him, and then he's like, oh, my heart was racing, I thought you actually were him. And just the kind of like little more like casual way that he talks there is it's fun to see a different, like, even Kelson can like disarm even Jimmy somewhat. Then you get the ending with Killian finally coming back, was like a good another good cameo. Like, I'm really curious to see where the third one goes, especially now that Kelson and Jimmy are dead. I don't know if it's just gonna be, is the wrap up just gonna be like Spike's dad coming after him and him having to like, either fully cut off his home or go back or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that I had read that the third, like basically the way the structure seemed to work was that first movie like is Spike's story, and then Jimmy shows up at the end. And then the next movie is Jimmy's story with the Spike, and then Jim shows up at the end. And then I think the third movie, I think it's going to feature Killian like pretty heavily. I think that's like
right. Yes.
But yeah, like there are so many threads that I feel like they need to like do, and I trust them to be able to do it. But it's like you have Spike and his dad, you have the baby, you have Samson. And then you have Jim and his daughter. Is Naomi Harris alive? Is Frank's daughter still around? Are they going to explain that? I mean, I guess if they don't, they don't. But I'm like, because I don't know if any of them are like slated to come back for it. Like they could probably get Naomi Harris. I don't know. I'm sure we'll learn more about it. But yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to conclude it. Unless it's like they all get off the island and like go to the United States or some shit. But yeah. When the theme kicks in at the end, I was like, "Yep, this is what these movies are. This is like what they're supposed to be."
Yeah.
Same. I mean, honestly, same with like 28 years later when they do the song "East Hastings" by Godspeed You, Black Emperor. Because it's not the 28 Days Later theme, but it's the other one that plays, like I think when Jim's like walking around at the very beginning.
Yeah. When he's in London. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, hearing the theme was like hell yes.
Yeah, I love that. Like after like that's like I thought that was such a great use of like. I mean, it is like you could call it fan service, just like bringing Killian back and like playing the.
That's like the motif, the musical motif, like like you know who this is,
but it's like earned. It's like they didn't play it for 2 whole movies. They made you wait until the very end, and it's such a good like capper to where like I mean, of course, I think I would I want to see Cillian Murphy in another one again. I never thought that would happen. But it also like I'd be like these two work so perfectly as just like the epilogues that they are. Like you could end it there. I really hope that they do have that. Like Garland has already has an idea for the third one in mind. Like. I know that they originally like made it as a trilogy, but they were kind of like making the first 2 and then yes, maybe we'll make the third one. But I hope that doesn't mean that like he didn't put as much thought into the third one, because I think like if they could stick the landing, this could literally be like one of the best movie trilogies like ever.
Yeah.
Because in my eyes, these first 2, I love them both so much. Like they're such they're such treats. Again, they're so different. They're both do their own thing. I like this one, like I was saying, this one's so different from the first one, and yet so similar. Like, and I would say this about 28 Days Later too, not 28 weeks. But
yeah,
it's similar to that, where like that feels so different from these, and yet they also all feel like part of the same franchise. So it's like the perfect kind of like sequel where it's like it's not aping the previous ones. It's not just a retread. It's not a I watched it's not an Austin Powers sequel where 60% of the jokes are the exact same jokes from the previous movies. They're always doing new stuff, introducing new things, new elements. But they all feel like part of the same whole, which is so cool. And yeah, as long as you can do it one more time and be like, God damn, one of the best.
In a world of
one of the best franchises.
in a world of like cash grab legacy sequels that are just in it to make money, it feels so like I feel so lucky that these are as good as they have been and have been handled with such care and detail, because they could have easily just turned it into like, you know, just a running zombie, like, but they could have done 28 weeks later.
Right.
With this.
Probably would have made money, you know.
Yeah, people would have gone to see it because they would have been like, haha, I know that. I remember. But, you know, they're not afraid of like alienating viewers a little bit with like, you know, innovative styles and trying different things out and doing different things thematically that, you know, maybe some people won't jive with, but a lot of people that like appreciate like subtlety and nuance and creativity will be like, I really like the way that they did that. Like they're trying different stuff. They're not just cashing in, which they could very easily do.
I know, and then I know that I did see that they had. I'm pretty sure they confirmed that they are gonna make the third one now. But I don't know what I think Danny Boyle is supposed to do the third one.
I
as
believe
well,
he is,
but I don't know. I don't know if that'd be cool. That'll be cool to see him back in. You know, is he gonna stick? Is he gonna be like, okay, we're doing cell phones again?
Yeah, I was like, how's he gonna innovate it this time?
Yeah. But yeah, I get TBA on when it's gonna come out. So I wonder if they're gonna. It'll have to be soonish, I would think, just with Spike. Like, you know, the first two they shot back to back, so it worked out that way. But I feel like that kid is right at that age where like next year he's gonna grow a foot and his voice is gonna drop, and you know, so
I feel like I was watching like interview like Vanity Fair material, like where they were talking to Jack O'Connell,
Alfie,
and the guy Alfie.
Oh,
yeah, and his
Alfie
voice
something.
Already sounded like his
already
voice is changing.
Yeah.
I'm like, they might have to like digitally de-age his voice.
Oh no!
Kind of like what they had to do with like the Stranger Things kids in one of the. I think in season 4, I think that they like altered their voices. Maybe
yeah. They did that in It Part 2 where could they do some like flashbacks, and that was a little weird. It's always just like a little uncanny. It's still a little strange. Even when they mostly pull it off, it's still a little rough.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it comes sooner than later for that sake. Maybe next year. You know, maybe 2027, maybe. Yeah.
That'd be pretty tight.
Okay. Yeah. It is time for a very special month. We're moving up our dud month a month. Because we have been doing it in April, releasing them in April. But Nick came up with a good pun. And that was more or less enough for me to switch it, because it makes more sense. The only reason I did April was because I was like, oh, April Fool's Day. I think maybe the first year we did it, maybe April Fool's Day was like the day an episode came out, maybe. I was like, that was the only thing, but I was like, but that is only one day of the month. This makes more sense to do it as like a whole thing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be starting March Badness next episode. Like we have done in the past for this, we'll go weekly for this month. So you're gonna get 4 episodes a week. Or no, not 4 episodes a week. 4 episodes for this month, for the month of March. And yeah, we just that was honestly that might have been the clincher for this one. Is like I looked at it and I saw that there was 4 Wednesdays in March and there was 5 in April, and I was like, hey, if we can make this any shorter, because
didn't that happen last year too, where there were like 5?
Like just barely. I think so. I think based on how it looks.
I feel like it was last year or the year before where we had to watch 5, and they were. It was like last year was like pretty brutal because wasn't that like was that Axum?
Last year was 5. Might have been, yeah. Yeah, these are. So yeah, that's another thing we're gonna do different because. Look, I know it's the name of this show. I know that's like, and I know that's, I mean, I know this is something that we fully choose to do. We don't have to do the month of bad, but it's been pretty rough. The 2 years that we've done it so far, it's been pretty fucking rough.
Oh God, yeah. I'm looking back.
We have good movies in the Dud Cups, but I swear to God, we only pick like the most abysmally boring and dull ones every time we do this. So yeah, what do we have for the past?
Norbit, Movie 43, Going Overboard, Axum.
Oh my God,
and
that's
then
right.
And then I think
comedy after comedy.
And I think we put our thumb on the scale, and I think we chose Twisted Pair. We were
Twisted
like,
Pair, yeah.
We need to do like a Neil Breen movie. We need to do something that we at least know is going to be like entertaining as opposed to like Going Overboard, which was just like wrapping your penis to like a car and the car slowly driving away. Like that's what that movie felt like.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, I forgot that. God, we had 3 shitty ass comedies in a row. God, that was fucking torture. And then I'm pretty sure the year before was like a similar deal, and then we closed it with Mac and Me. So we did pick one of the weeks before, but this time we're gonna do all of them. What?
Yeah, April just I guess has 5 Wednesdays in it because we did After Last Season, Sinister Squad, Gigli, Would You Rather, and then Mac and Me.
Okay. Yeah, that's rough. I forgot we did Would You Rather because that one was just like not that bad.
Yeah, didn't we annex it out of the Dud Cup?
I think we did. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. But yeah, so we're picking. We're gonna alternate. We're gonna pick just kind of like how we do the horror month. So Nick has a pick already, so he's gonna start us off.
Yeah. All right. So this is one that I have seen once. I think my brother and I watched it because we knew it was bad, and it definitely is. But there are a handful of moments that are great. So my pick for the first seed, I don't know if like we're following the March Madness theme. First seed, we are going to do The Bye Bye Man from 2017, directed by Stacy Title. That is the fakest name I've ever heard. Holy shit, she's dead. She died in 2021. She was not that old.
Well, she
only did 4 movies, and this was her last one. Oh, the last movie she did before The Bye Bye Man was Hood of Horror. Hood of Horror, aka Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror from 2006. But yeah, we are. Oh shit, it was ALS. That's sad.
Yeah, I'm seeing pictures.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Okay.
Anyway. The Bye Bye Man is notoriously bad. Don't think it, don't say it. Don't think it, don't say it. I think it's like if you think about the Bye Bye Man, he comes and kills you. I don't know. It's like really stupid.
That's what I was making a joke that she was killed because she thought about it too much.
Don't think it, don't say it.
No, it's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
she died anyways. I guess maybe that's a reality check. It's like, hey, asshole, maybe just don't make you hear somebody died, and your first instinct is to make a joke about it.
Maybe the thing from her movie killed her. But yeah. So yeah, round 1, we got The Bye Bye Man.
Sweet. Sweet. Yeah. All right. So watch that movie. Watch The Bye Bye Man before the next episode if you don't want to be spoiled for it. These episodes come out on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. EST on YouTube in video form, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Leave us a comment, leave us a like, leave us your thoughts and opinions on our stuff. And with all that said, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not making a joke about it. I can't. I don't know. I am also a person who makes movies, like the director of this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm TJ, and with me as always.
As always, I am suddenly very sad about this movie that we watched again. And I'm Nick.
I know we had some fun talking about other movies for a little bit, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, happy March Badness.
Yeah.